What if the absolute limit of your current income, your career growth, and your English fluency is completely imaginary? Millions of highly capable professionals are living inside a tiny invisible cage, not because the world is holding them back, but because they are still fighting a ceiling that was removed years ago. But today, we enter a quiet scientific laboratory to discover how a simple glass jar has successfully programmed your brain to accept mediocrity. Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome back to our quiet sanctuary. I am incredibly grateful to share this peaceful, reflective space with you again today. Whether you are listening during a quiet, rainy evening in Seattle, sipping your morning coffee in Geneva, or driving through the bright, coastal roads of Brisbane, thank you for allowing me to join your week. This platform is crafted exclusively for your elevation. It is your weekly mental escape from the chaotic demands of the modern workplace. A sanctuary where profound metaphors dismantle your subconscious fears, while naturally expanding your command of articulate, high-level business English listening. So, let us close the unnecessary windows in our minds. Let us drop all the tension from our shoulders. And let us begin. We live in a world that continuously teaches us what we cannot do. From our early childhood through our corporate careers, we are surrounded by unspoken rules, systemic doubts, and historical failures. Perhaps you tried to speak English years ago in school, and someone laughed at your accent. Perhaps you applied for a global management role in the past, and were rejected because your communication lacked executive presence. When these painful rejections happen, our brains immediately construct a protective wall. We tell ourselves, I am just not good at languages, or I am just not meant to lead international teams. We accept these past experiences as our permanent, unchangeable identity. We stop trying, we stop expanding, and we settle into a comfortable, restricted zone, entirely unaware that the barrier has long been gone. But global leadership demands that we question every single ceiling we encounter. If you are currently feeling trapped in your career, or if you feel like you have hit a mysterious plateau in your self-growth that you cannot seem to break through, this episode will expose the invisible chains holding you down. Let us look closely at a famous, chilling biological experiment. A group of behavioral scientists gathered a collection of tiny insects known as fleas. Now, a flea is an absolute marvel of physical power. In the wild, a single flea can leap into the air, up to 20 centimeters high. That is nearly 200 times its own body height. It is equivalent to a human being jumping over a tall skyscraper with ease. The scientists took these powerful fleas and placed them inside a heavy glass jar. The jar was only 10 centimeters tall. Then, they firmly placed a solid glass lid on top, sealing the insects inside. At first, the fleas behaved exactly as nature designed them to. They began to leap with ferocious energy. But every single time they jumped, thud, their tiny heads smashed violently into the hard glass lid. They fell back down to the bottom, shook it off, and jumped again. Thud, thud, thud. They continued this painful process for days. Eventually, something fascinating changed in their behavior. The fleas realized that jumping to their full potential caused immediate pain and frustration. To survive, their brains adapted to the new environment. They began to jump exactly 9.9 centimeters high. They jumped just high enough to avoid hitting the painful lid. But they never used their full capacity again. After a week, the scientists performed the most crucial part of the experiment. They walked over to the table and completely removed the glass lid. The jar was now wide open. The fleas could have easily leaped out of the jar and tasted absolute freedom in the open room. But do you know what happened? The fleas spent the rest of their lives jumping exactly 9.9 centimeters high. They lived, reproduced, and died inside that open glass jar. They never escaped, not because the glass lid was there, but because the lid had been successfully transferred into their own minds. The ceiling had become psychological. This is the exact tragedy that is silently playing out in your professional life right now. Your past failures, your old embarrassments, and the critical words of a former manager were just the glass lid of your past. They hurt you, and they taught you to limit your voice, to stay safe. But today, you are a completely different person. You are building your competence. You are sharpening your executive tools. And the old lid has been completely removed by the reality of your growth. Yet, when you enter an international boardroom, you still jump exactly 9.9 centimeters. You limit your vocabulary. You hide your innovative ideas. And you speak with hesitation because your subconscious mind is still terrified of hitting a glass lid that no longer exists. You are a lion, behaving like a caged bird. Break the conditioning of your past. Stop letting an old memory dictate your current worth. The next time you hesitate to lead a global project or voice your opinion in perfect English, look up and realize that the space above you is completely boundless. The open sky is waiting for you. Jump with all your power. Speak with all your conviction. Write with all your executive clarity. Because the only person keeping you inside the jar is the person staring back at you in the mirror. As we close this 9th chapter together, let us carry 3 liberating words into your working week. First, cultivate your awareness. Constantly ask yourself, am I avoiding this big opportunity because it is impossible, or am I just afraid of an old ghost? Second, practice intentional expansion. Intentionally push past your comfort zone this week. Speak a little longer, aim a little higher, and jump past 10 centimeters. And finally, claim your liberation. Forgive your past mistakes, leave your old limitations in the dusty laboratory of yesterday, and step fully into your unchained potential. Look at the open jar. Forget the old lid. And fly away. Thank you for dedicating your valuable focus to break your boundaries with me today. Until next time, stay limitless and keep leaping toward your greatness.